There she stood. In a world where women walk around in hours worth of makeup, heels high enough to have their heads hovering just below the ceiling, and skin-tight clothing that perfectly accentuates the allure of their assets, there she stood in a pair of open-toed sandals and an orange sweater. Her breasts weren't begging for attention, and her jeans made no extra effort to gain the admiration of would-be onlookers. Let's be honest, I looked anyway, but that's beside the point. See, she had a certain glow about her. It's cliche, but I was attracted to her like a moth to a flame, and although I only sat a few chairs away, I never allowed myself to move any closer for fear of getting burned. Instead, I kind of just kept nudging my bro and saying, "Bro, she cute." I'd soon regret those words, not because I didn't mean them, but because while I was running my mouth, I couldn't hear her name as she was called on stage to perform. Not knowing her name, but knowing that it was probably just as pretty as she was, I sat and watched with childlike anticipation as she approached her pedestal, adjusted the mic, and finally allowed me the pleasure of hearing her speak. And I was amazed. See, she was a spoken word artist, and at least once a week for 5 minutes at a time, she bared her naked flesh in front of complete strangers. She was definitely no amateur, and honestly, if silence is golden, then her voice was platinum, and my eardrums were more icy than Gucci Mane in '06. Her words were like a fast-acting cure that would relieve my nighttime pencil-breaking, pen-throwing, paper-ripping, head-banging writer's block. I ingested them through my ears, digested them in my heart, and for lack of a better or more appropriate term, I felt fucking fantastic. The sickness I felt from not being able to produce anything more than watered down excuses for poetry was gone, because somehow she made me want to do better. And once she finished performing, she flashed this big, beautiful smile that actually made me jealous of whatever brand of toothpaste she was using. I thought it might be Colgate, but then I kind of hoped that it was Arm & Hammer, because then I could introduce her to Arm & Hammer. But anyway, after she walked off stage and the air finally returned to my lungs, I again nudged my bro, but this time I was like, "Bro, I think I'm in love." He nodded in agreement and urged me to go talk to her, but if the flame was too hot before, it now acted as a foolproof Darius repellent, because in that moment, she burned bright enough to put the sun to shame, and in my mind, she was perfection. And I know for a fact that when chasing perfection, the best thing anyone can ever hope to accomplish is excellence. But in that moment, excellence would have been such a letdown. So I sat there and I said nothing. On that night after I'd returned home, I had a moment of clarity. It was as if inspiration disguised herself as opportunity and finally found her way to my doorstep. She knocked for all of 2.2 seconds before I ripped the door off the hinges to invite her in. And with no time to waste with pleasantries, I picked her up into my arms and took her into my room, where we put pen to paper and made sweet, sweet literary love until my pen ran out of ink and my paper couldn't take anymore. It was fantastic. After a while, I looked down and noticed that my notebook was full of some of the corniest lines that I'd ever come up with. And I loved it, because for the first time in a long time, I'd written something that I could be proud of. And it was all thanks to the girl in the orange sweater. Thanks for watching. Like, comment, subscribe. Let me know how you feel about the video. And, yeah.